Hi there and welcome to my channel. My name is Gavin. Right now we are commemorating the solving of the 340 cipher of the Zodiac killer by taking a close look at his victims and possible victims. September 27th, 1969. 20-year-old Bryan Hartnell was enjoying a picnic with 22-year-old Cecelia Shepard in a spot under a tree alongside Lake Berryessa in Northern California's Napa County. The large reservoir in the Vaca Mountains was a popular place for people to go to find some solitude and relaxation. The couple were relaxing along the shoreline when they noticed a man lingering in the shade of some nearby trees. Not terribly worried, they continued their conversation. Suddenly, he appeared wearing a bizarre costume. A black hood with a white crossed circle stitched onto the front, hanging over his chest. He drew a gun and told them he was robbing them. Startled, the students complied with their assailant's instructions. Bryan later told reporters that he had told the masked man he could have his money, which was only about 75 cents. The assailant brought pre-cut lengths of plastic clothesline with him. He instructed Cecelia to tie Bryan up, which she did. She was then bound by the man, who she later described as being approximately 5 foot 11 inches and about 170 pounds. Once Cecelia was tied up, he checked to make sure Bryan's bonds were tight. They were not. She had bound his hands loosely. The entire time, Bryan believed that this was just a robbery. At that point, the man drew a knife and repeatedly stabbed both Bryan Hartnell and Cecelia Shepard. She was stabbed 10 times, him 6. The attacker departed and hiked about 500 yards in the direction of Bryan Hartnell's car, a Volkswagen Karmann Ghia, leaving the couple to die. Unknown to both Bryan and Cecelia, when the man arrived at the car, he took a black felt-tip pen and drew the cross-circle symbol on the passenger side door. Beneath the infamous symbol of the Zodiac killer, he wrote, Vallejo, 12/20/68, 7/4/69, Sept 27/69, 6:30, by knife. Emboldened by the fact that he'd thus far evaded law enforcement, the Zodiac killer made a phone call to the Napa County Sheriff's Office at 7:40 that evening. He made the call from a payphone at the Napa Car Wash on Main Street in Napa. He told the operator that he wanted to, quote, report a murder, no, a double murder, close quote. He went on to say that he was the murderer. Nearby, Pat Stanley, a reporter with KVON radio, sat listening to the police scanner. He learned that the Zodiac killer had made the phone call. The phone company could only say that the call came from somewhere between Lake Berryessa and Napa. A request was then broadcast on the radio for deputies to search for payphones in the area. Mr. Stanley jumped into action and found the payphone by luck where the call was made. A palm print was able to be lifted from the receiver, but it wasn't ever matched to a suspect. Meanwhile, officers arrived at the crime scene and found Bryan Hartnell and Cecelia Shepard. Both were still alive, and Cecelia was conscious. She was able to provide a detailed description of the attacker. They were then taken by ambulance to Queen of the Valley Hospital in Napa. Cecelia Shepard fell into a coma during transport. She never regained consciousness, dying 2 days later from her wounds. About a week after the attack, reporters Pat Stanley and Pierce Carson stood in Bryan Hartnell's hospital room where the young man lay propped up in his bed. For 20 minutes, he politely answered the reporters' questions. When asked about surviving the attack, Bryan Hartnell said, "I refused to die. I wasn't ready to die. I wasn't satisfied with my personal life and decided this was no way to end it." In the 52-plus years since the attack, police haven't matched the lifted palm print to a single suspect. The Zodiac killer remains unknown. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe to my channel. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below.